welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get into episode 5, pretty sure, volume 7 of my Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac scrapbooks. And we're continuing on with the Wild Heart, which is, although it's volume 7, it's one part of my Wild Heart stuff, which is in 2 volumes, two different scrapbooks, because I have that much stuff, a lot of Wild Heart stuff. And I still have, I think, at least, let's do this in 2 videos. I think I can do this volume in 2 more videos, and then we'll start the next volume. So if you saw my last video, I had some really great stuff. Curious to know what you had thought of the matchups. I wish I had thought to read any responses I might have gotten before I started this one, but it's okay. I'll catch up later. This is a really cool thing. A lot of people have seen some of these pictures, particularly the one I'm about to show you, but the larger one behind it, again, some of my great finds when I was traveling to Book City and Star World in Los Angeles. Really the 2 places, my biggest sources before eBay really became the source, and then just trying to fish for stuff on my own. But this one is a photo that people have seen plenty of. It was used in the Rolling Stone rock, Women of Rock or something like that, or like all the interviews or something like that. They made a big book. In me, my infinite wisdom, when I got the book 100 years ago, I tore out the Stevie Nicks part and pretty much got rid of the book, which is completely stupid. It's not that hard to find the book anymore, but you know, it's a book, and I love books, and I don't know what I was thinking, tearing it apart. But I really just wanted the Stevie photos. But since then, I had acquired this one, which was a really unique outtake. I think that maybe this one might have been shown on the back of a fanzine at one time. It might have been, but yeah, a really cool one. Unfortunately, it's a bad coloring. I don't know why that is, but ever since I've got it, it's just kind of pink, if you can see. And it looks pink or worse in the light, much worse. But it does have a slight tint of a pink to it. She's clearly wearing white. It's how the photos developed. Now, again, both Star World and Book City, you would go there and you would look through their negatives, and they would print pictures up for you and send them home with you. Very seldom was I able to get the photos at the time. Sometimes they had things made, or just you'd have to go digging through their boxes and other stuff. I have some really cool live photos that I happened upon digging through a completely unrelated box of what was all music, concert memorabilia, but I was really surprised to find Stevie stuff in there, and that was at Star World. But again, for most of the time, unless it was an original print that, you know, they were selling for a large amount of money, you could, you know, spend less money and go there and like look at all the negatives and make your order slip, pay for it, and then they'd mail it out to you, which felt like infinity. It took forever to get to you, but of course, yeah, that's just the way things worked. Imagine waiting for film back in the day instead of the instantaneousness that you have on your cameras, your cell phones now. But yeah, a really nice picture. And on that note, these 2, again, were the same. Now, this one I'm about to show you is a copy from my friend. When I told you there's 2 of us who would always go together, she got this one, and she made this copy for me, which, again, definitely not a scene photo, very rare photo. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's funny what she chose and what I chose. It's always funny because when we would go shopping together, she'd be like, I'm surprised you got that one. I'd be like, well, I'm surprised you got that one. And we all loved them. We all wanted, you know, all of them. But it was just funny what, you know, and she was kind of that kind of person. She would definitely choose what she liked, whereas Anita has always wanted all photos. But if you're left to only choose 1 or 2 or something like that, then yeah, I mean, there's a difference. You will choose one that you favor more, but I just always thought that was kind of funny. And then again, keeping with the rarity of things, this is the one that I purchased. So it was this set that we got. And this one is just, I mean, can you just, look how beautiful that is. Absolutely gorgeous. And we've seen her wearing this top before, which we don't see too often. And she's here too, but it looks like she maybe has not maybe, I'm sure she's got the blue lamp shawl over that. You can kind of see even the blue hues. That just kills me how that shows up in camera like that. I've never seen that happen. This is a newer, not fancy phone, but you know, and my old phone just never did that, which I found interesting. But yeah, so this was the one that I picked, and they're both original. Well, This is an original. This is, I had printed up. This one was a very nice copy we went and had made. So there's a difference. And that could be part of the reason why too on the coloring, but yeah. Love this one. Again, shown to a handful of people, so I really hope you enjoyed this one. On that note, this is kind of a hodgepodge of stuff that I have here. I think that these ones are all purchases. I think that's right. Yeah. So this is stuff from Stevie's wedding to Kim Anderson. So here is Stevie with her brother and her parents. Gorgeous. You can kind of see the age on this plastic. I apologize. It's a page that needs to be swapped out maybe. I forget this gentleman's name. I can't remember. I can't remember seeing. Is this John Courage? No. Maybe her and Anderson, Kim Anderson. Then this one is a copy. Now this is a photograph, but this was a Herbert Worthington released this as a card, like the 5x7 or 11x14, and I again believe this one and this one go in with the same set. Of course, this also kind of reminds me of those ones I had shown a couple videos ago with the big print that Herbert made. Kind of looks similar. But I don't think so. So those are some really cool ones acquired over the years. This one is kind of grainy, unfortunately. But these ones are ones I did acquire the negatives to, and I'm really pleased with Punch about these. These are really some really great photos. I love them so much because they're so clear. And they're from Stevie Nicks' wedding. How cool. Some people have which I would kill to have, some people have a matchbook from Stevie's wedding, Stevie and Kim. The thing of it is there's a date on it and such like that. And some people were accused of replicating them because it seemed like there was a sudden surge of them on eBay. And they were only like $15 or $20 a pop. But, original or otherwise, I don't think that's a bad price. I think actually, even if it were an original, because it's a book of matches. But not knowing whether I was going to get a real one or not, I never got one. But then there's some napkins I've seen from the wedding and stuff like that, which is just dorky stuff, but kind of cool. And it's the only time Stevie Nicks got married, right? Now, who didn't ever see this photo and want to know what all this was? Trust me, I've had this enlarged. I've had it enlarged, and I've tried my damnedest to see if there's any way, a snowball's chance in hell, I could get any of these to come out bigger. And the answer is no. But if you look, you can kind of sort of make some out. But I would just like to scoop up that pile, please, and have it in my home, please. And thank you. Right? That's a great photo of Stevie, though. And this is what's really cool. She's holding the stuff away, but it looks like maybe, I don't know. I always kind of thought maybe that was Herbert and some equipment from taking photos. I could be wrong. But yeah. So we have the girls. I mean, these are beautiful. And I, again, forget. I swear I do know all this, but it's just not stuff I keep. And I should write this stuff down on here. So way too late for that. We're several books in, and I'm like, yeah, I should probably have written that down. But next time I find out, maybe I'll put a little stick-it note and figure it out. Next up was, again, a really cool little collage I had done of stuff around the Wild Heart era. Some of it's just before and some of it's just after, but this was kind of cool. This one here, this picture of Stevie and Kim. But this little part, which I want to say is from maybe Rolling Stone, was Stevie Nicks ended her lively bachelorettehood on January 29th when she married former Warner Brothers promotion man Kim Anderson on the beach outside Pacific Palisades home. Anderson is a member of the Hiding Place Church, a community of born-again Christians, and the marriage fueled speculation that Nicks herself might be a devotee of Jesus. I think marrying Kim puts her into our group, but she'll have to come in her own time, said Minister Philip Wagner, who performed the wedding. Wagner said that he had initial trepidations about marrying the pair. I had to know where Stevie was at with the Lord. The church, which emphasizes the supernatural and the charismatic in its worship, was founded last year by Henry Couture, a former bass player for Debbie Boone and Todd Fisher, the son of Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher. The groom was previously married to Nix's best friend, Robin Anderson, who contracted a terminal leukemia last year. Only a week before her death, Robin gave birth to a healthy child. Nix is the child's godmother. Wagner said the couple's wishes were to keep the sundown ceremony simple and stay away from the these and thous. I did a little 5-minute thing about their relationship to the Lord and little miracles happening. Then we did some quick vows, they exchanged rings, and we had a little communion. Attendees included Nix's fellow Fleetwood Macsters, Christine McVie, Mick Fleetwood, Nix's longtime partner, Paramore, Lindsey Buckingham was not in attendance. Somebody questioning where Stevie Nicks is at with the Lord, and before I go any further, I am not a poo-pooer of religion. I am myself not religious. I do think it's funny that especially in celebrity marriages, like, dude, these people don't really live in the real world per se. No disrespect to Stevie, no disrespect to a church, but just marry them. I mean, come on. And we all know it didn't last for anything. So, that was the least of the issues of marriage. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. And then the church being founded by basically another rock star. So okay, this is an interesting article. It's one of the most detailed, I would say, with the most information about the church and the wedding, I guess, really, other than photos. There's really not that a lot of information in print about the wedding itself and even its duration. It's basically Stevie Nicks got married. Oh my God, Stevie Nicks got divorced, and that's about it. Other little stuff. My God, is something really flying around here? I apologize. Why is my dog not taking care of that? Great little article on Marilyn Martin. I have some things here and there. I think I have a really cool Marilyn Martin record with a whole bunch like a press kit inside. Yeah, another little pink section cut out from, I think, a different date of Stevie on tour. Then this was really random. I don't know if anybody knows who Africa Bambaataa is, but he was a I don't want to say it was Soul Sonic Force, is that right? But there was a song called Planet Rock, which is a big song, big hit in the 80s. I love that song. And Africa Bambaataa was on that. But it was a weird pitting against each other. It was from Playboy magazine. It was Stevie Nicks against him. And a match made in heaven. Stevie's scene always seems as though it's about to float off somewhere like a UFFU, unidentified flying female undergarment. Freaking Playboy. She definitely needs roots, and Bass Bambaataa's got plenty of those. We're talking about the guy who threatened to kick James Brown's butt if the King didn't produce Bammy's next record. In fact, let's take a reader's poll here, like the election Trix has every couple of years, to determine whether the rabbit gets the cereal. Should Africa Bambaataa beat up Stevie Nicks? Results next month. This is a weird little article. This page definitely has two weird little parts here. Music Women, The Welsh Witch and Walkover. The big surprise, though, was the strong write-in showing of Germany's Nina, especially since our poll ran before the American release of 99 Love Balloons. So that was a little excerpt with Stevie here. And I guess, Stevie was kind of a favorable choice in the polls, but then Nina was there. And this lovely photo of Stevie. Nobody. A terrible capture. And then this favorite thing, I love this little excerpt about Stevie doing the two different videos that, the Civil War version and the other one. So, yeah. So that one, and I'm going to wrap up, I think, with this page here. This, again, was a really cool little excerpt, little paper thing from, I think, Australia. Australia Record Industry Countdown Chart for August 14th, 1983. Stand Back is at number 32 and Wild Heart. Excuse me. Wish I could edit. Stand Back is at number 32 and the Wild Heart at number 10 in Australia. And yet a different picture of Stevie and Kim here, which is a real photograph. another real photograph. I think I've shown some pictures of Stevie and this guy at another time. O'Neill was this guy's name. I showed pictures of him with Fleetwood Mac with Stevie and Christine in the 70s, like maybe around Tusk. See, didn't even realize that I had another picture of that guy. He was like a critic or something like that, and things ended badly for him is basically all I can remember. And then again, they were married, and the next minute they weren't. Stevie Nicks, currently in the process of securing a divorce from her husband Kim, is hard at work on her next solo album for Modern Records. I've written 6 new songs, Stevie told us backstage at Radio City Music Hall. Who says you've got to wait 2 and 3 years between releases? I'm going to do it in 6 months. Well, that little trend stopped. Nothing but love, Stevie, but everybody's heard that we get a record coming in 2026, right? Which I can't wait, but I just hate waiting more. Like, when in 2026? Like, she's kind of a summer kind of gal. Like, is it coming in summer, early? And just, it bums me out how long there is between records. Not that she owes us anything, but I'm greedy and I want more Stevie music. So just, a little collage again, probably that might be from Wild Heart, maybe from the US Festival. And that'll do it for this video. I think, like I had said, let's finish up this last one because this doesn't go with anything. That's what I try and keep things kind of together. This is a cool little live picture. It was a real strange shaped and size picture. And I think that Stevie's wearing that same necklace that I had shown of her in the Wild Heart and the Stand Back possibly video shoot, where I wonder what it was. This looks clear like glass, but the other one in the other pictures, it looks like a hologram or something. But I've always wondered what that picture is. I'm not trying to show Stevie's boobies here. This is a great photo. Again, this is, I've talked about this before, from Dean Messina, who used to sell his photos at the Pier 49 in San Francisco. And then I think this is just a live random picture from, again, I think the US Festival. I think it was her and David Bowie that night. That'll wrap it up for this video. And then I'll start with some kind of trip down memory lane. And I think I have some pictures coming up from the I Want You Back video with Mick Fleetwood, which is actually made the same day as the If Anyone Falls video. So some really good, some cool photos, let's put it that way, but they're not really the best. And then, I think I can do this in one more video before we get to volume 2, volume 8, but part 2 of Wild Heart. So thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.